Hi everyone, my name is Julie. This is Keep Calm with Books and Coffee. I talk about books on this channel, mainly books about magic. And if you want to see more of that, you can hit the subscribe button down below. But today we're going to be doing a tag that Danny Dabbles created called You Want Me to Go Where? Hello everybody, so today we're going to be doing this tag, and Danny started with a fantasy version of this tag and has expanded it to sci-fi and horror, I believe, but we're going to focus on the genre that I am most familiar with and stick with fantasy for this round. I'm excited because this tag has seemed like a ton of fun since she created it, and I've been thinking about my answers for a little bit now. I was trying to come up with no repeats as far as series because there's not a ton of questions, but I don't know that I succeeded, so we're going to jump into it. So the very first question is, where would you die the quickest? And for this, I have chosen the Kate Daniels series by Alana Andrews. This series has so many different types of magic and so many different pitfalls for the people that live in it. So many things are murderous, so many things spawn out of nowhere. There's like these magic flares that come in and out of existence and can activate or like deactivate things that protect you as well as things that can attack you. So the whole world feels a bit like a booby trap at times, and I just feel like I would have died in this world very, very quickly. Also, when they talk about how the world went from like our world to how the magic is now, it seems like very, very destructive and apocalyptic. So I think I would be in trouble if we went from our world to that world, or if I was just dropped in the middle of this world. Next up is the question of where would you survive? And for this one, I'm being a little specific about a place within the world that I would survive, and that is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. If I was dropped in the library where Laszlo works at the beginning of these books, I think I would survive there. I think I could survive for a long time because there is so much, like the librarians are wonderful and the library seems like a very safe place, even though it is a research spot, and everyone else around Laszlo seems very content with what is going on. It's just Laszlo has this curiosity burning inside of him that he needs to leave it. So, and there's several like older librarians that I'm like, well, you've all survived, so maybe I would too. The third question is, what fantasy world has the best vacation spots? And for this, I'm going to choose Clean Sweep by Ilona Andrews. And I hated to choose another Ilona Andrews series because I was trying to pick variety. So I have a second option here. However, in this series, the inns are literally vacation spots. Like in this series, we are following Dina, who is an innkeeper, and the inns are like vacation spots for interstellar travel. So, you know, they can be just a pit stop, you can be staying somewhere. So first of all, I think the inns across the galaxy would be very interesting. Also, Dina has like the ability to open these doors to other places outside of her inn, and all of those seem like, well, not all of them, some of them are very dangerous, but a bunch of them seem like really amazing vacation spots and really interesting places to visit. So that's a great choice. But to choose something other than the Ilona Andrews series, I think I would choose the Something by Gail Carriger. Either the Soulless series, like I'm choosing the Soulless series world basically because in Prudence they travel all over the world in a dirigible? Yes, dirigible, like a floating airship that they explore all these different places and how magic and the world works there. So this world would also be full of really interesting vacation spots. Number 4 is, what fantasy world would you send your worst enemy to? And for this one, I'm choosing The Others World by Anne Bishop. This world is quite dangerous and quite violent. So in this series, the world is run more by the paranormal creatures that lurk in the darkness than by the humans. The humans have less power. There is a predator that is above them in the pecking order. So we have werewolves, we have vampires, we have other very dangerous creatures that have more authority over the way the world works than humans. And if you're stupid, or if you break the rules, you get into trouble very, very easily here. And the series kind of explores that power balance, as well as, you know, how humans test that power balance. So if I had a worst enemy that was testing me, I think they'd have to go here. Number 5 is, which magic could you master? And for this one, I'm choosing The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I was not sure how I wasn't entirely sure how I liked some of the learning bits of some of the books I was considering, and for this one you basically read and gather more knowledge and learn how to become more, like, not powerful, but can learn more magic through reading and gathering information. And I was like, I can do that. So that would be the one I would want to go to. I think I could eventually master things because Keela mostly just reads, applies her knowledge, and then adjusts accordingly, which I think I could do. I think I could handle. Number 6 is, which magic would you suck at? And for this one, I chose Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna Maguire. And the part of this that I would suck at is that if I got sent back to our world, I am not a patient person. I do not have the patience to wait for my door. So I would just suck at it. I think most of the characters do too, but I just feel like I would really not thrive. So for the last question, or the last inquiry, it is to build your own fantasy world. You pick a hero, a setting, an animal companion, a magic system or fantastical element, and a villain/conflict. And I did repeat things here because there were a couple that I was like, I can't choose something else. This is mostly where the repeats came in. So my hero I chose as Kate, or I guess it's your friend, the person you're working with, because Kate is really smart, she is really knowledgeable, and she just is a problem solver like no other. And I just love her as a character, and eventually she learns how to work on a team pretty well. And I just feel like if I was in trouble, she would be able to help me figure out what is going on, how we have to take it down. And she's also really good with her sword, so she would help me because I'm not good with a sword. The setting I would go with is God Killer by Hannah Canner, because I think this setting sounds so beautiful. This series just sounds so interesting, and the gods of this world really appeal to me, so I just think this would be really interesting to see. I also think Kate would be really good at learning about the gods here, and she would actually be a good god killer, so that would be interesting to see as well. For my animal companion, I would choose Mogget from Sabriel by Garth Nix. Mogget is a really interesting talking cat. He is very snarky. He also holds a lot of knowledge. I think I want to gather people around me who are going to know what's going on so we can solve this problem. He has some limitations because he can't always talk about things. That's part of his curse, we'll say. But he's a really interesting character, and he's also one of my absolute favorite parts of this book because of the way he is so snarky. So I think the magical element, or fantastical thing I'd like to introduce to this world is that in the Raven Cycle, someone can take objects out of their dreams, and I think that would be really useful in a conflict. So I think I would want to bring that along to this world and be able to control my dreams, because I can't right now. So I don't know that I'd be good at it, but I feel like if I got the ability, I could learn. And then the conflict is, or the villain is, I would like it to be a murderous enchanted forest that we have to figure out what it wants, because that is always a fascinating thing to explore, in my opinion. Uprooted by Naomi Novak has one of my favorite examples of this. Just finding out what the root of the enchanted forest problem is something that I really like to see explored. and I think would be really interesting with this group of people in this particular setting. But that's what my fantasy world would look like. That's what I think would be really interesting to explore. I don't know if we'd survive. That's a whole other question. But this is a really, really cool tag. Thank you to Danny so much for creating it and coming up with this idea, because I have just been obsessed with all the different editions of the tag that have been coming out from her. Definitely check her out. I will have both the tag and her link down below if you want to see the different versions. But that is it for me today. If you have any thoughts or feelings about anything that I talked about today, please let me know down below. If you aren't feeling chatty, just leave me your favorite like magic related emoji, whether that's like a unicorn or a wizard or a magic wand, whatever. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!